Okay, so I'm going to be talking about social media and the relationship between social media and self-observation and self-identification. And so the first question is, how much of an impact do you perceive social media as having on our self-concept and self-esteem?
Do you want to start that question now and then go into your next questions?
Yeah, we can start that one
Okay.
now.
You were saying?
Hugely, just because of it's now a chance for us to physically get that approval from our peers.
Right.
And it's just influenced everything.
And I think that because of that influence to your peers and how Facebook has kind of changed the whole dynamic of our understanding of our awareness, both socially, culturally, and whatnot, we tend to put things on social media that make us look good. And so when I see things like, people talking about how much they love their husband, what I see is, I hate my husband, I'm really on the verge of divorce, my life sucks, but I'm going to tell you how great it is, because I need to portray this idea of something.
And also the likes or the retweets or the favorites. And my friends are like, oh, if I don't get enough retweets or favorites on my tweet, I delete it. I'm like, why?
People get lost in reality, they kind of get lost in their phones to where they are all about likes, they're all about and then they don't really have a conversation in real life. And going back to what you were talking about, even just pictures of themselves, no one's going to put a picture they don't like of themselves on social media. So it's all about their self-concept and their self-esteem. So it could boost it, but then it also injure it as well.
Yeah, they can have that safety net where they kind of put what they think is going to be a better one portrayal of themselves. They'll put that out there for others to see and praise.
And yet we know this.
Yeah.
We all know that it's not real. And yet we still let it affect us. I know that when all of my stay-at-home mom friends post all this great stuff that they're putting, together for their kids' class, it makes me feel like a crap mom because, I'm not doing that, and that's okay. And so I have to step back and go, you know what? That's a difference in who I am versus who they are. Even if I had when I was a stay-at-home mom, I'm not doing that because that's not who I am.
And that's one more influence that we have from this new social media is that we guilt other people from our achievements, from our successes, and make you seem less of a person because you're not doing what everyone else is doing, because you're not following the social norm. Big deal. But you let these concepts just control our daily lives.
You only let them see the good. You don't let them see the bad about yourself.
That's where it can get really bad. Is if you just let all the bad things compact and compact and compact, and you're just talking about good things on social media, then that's where things get.
Yeah, and I think that at that point hinders it. I think that it kind of stops our growth as a whole. And to make us, have this idea that we're supposed to be this way, or that
things are never supposed to go wrong. Things are always great.
Right. We're not June Cleavers and whatnot. It's interesting because when I first saw these questions, I thought that I would have a different response, being the older one of the group, and looking at it differently because you guys have all grown up around social media and computers.
Well, that's not entirely true.
I graduated high school and went to college before the internet came out.
Well, just the progression of
change.
Start out with MySpace and then it moves to Facebook.
It always gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I stop at at Facebook because Twitter.
Yeah, now you have all these things, and where it's so many, it used to be just one thing where you'd have to upload something to, but now you have 4 things, 5 things where you're uploading the same thing.
More, yeah.
And you're
just to access those different people, those different peers. You have your professional peers, you have your school peers, you have your family peers, you have.
And sometimes they don't mix well.
Yes. Exactly, and that's why you have these 9 different medias that you can express yourself in different ways for each of them.
Right. And to go back to what you were saying a minute ago with the way that, social media, it's a huge influence in our life. And I think that sometimes we forget that they're not conversations, that it's not a real interaction with people.
Yeah.
And I think
they lose that social skills because you're being
you're like, wait,
all the time.
can I just say like to you on everything?
Yeah. So for the next question, it's discuss the relationship between social media and social comparison and judgment. And social comparison is how you measure up or judge yourself in comparison to others in your reference group. And reference group is the group of people who you primarily associate yourself with. So basically, I feel like we kind of covered that.
I was going to say, especially when you were talking about your stay-at-home mom friends.
Yes. Yeah. You're comparing yourself to another group.
Females or males could just judge themselves in real life, but now they can just look at someone on Facebook and be like, oh, I don't know, that sheep doesn't look as good as I do, kind of stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah. So for the
Judging
last
by
one, then,
the looks and
yeah,
not
In their life and what's going
Yeah,
on in their life.
absolutely.
it says how can people manage their self-perception issues related to social media?
Get off it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really
I
the
agree.
base of
If
it.
it weren't for this
Limit your
program for us,
interaction,
I wouldn't be on Facebook anymore.
Yeah, and it's all based on
Limit
how
yourself.
you use it. Like, 'cause if you use
Yeah.
it for like a useful tool, like your business, or for like say keeping in touch with family, then it could be good. But if you let it consume your life, where that's all you're worried about, then then it's definitely going to hinder your.
Absolutely, especially when people have like this idea that they, accept every friend request that they come across. And for me, it's like if I haven't had a conversation with you, I don't friend you. You know.
I'm the same
If
way.
I don't know you,
because
I'm not gonna hit.
it's
Okay.
not like it's disclosed a ton of my personal information, but that is my life that is out there on Facebook. If I don't know you, I don't want you in that privacy.
And just the aspect of like how careers are happening nowadays, where they can go and look
Yeah.
back at your Facebook, go look back at
Exactly.
your social media, where it can hurt you in your career.
Right.
Where you have to be basically thinking about what you're putting on social media every day.
Exactly.
You really
Can
have to
affect you
limit
down
your
the road,
time
yeah.
to it, or just limit how many social medias you have,
Mhm.
because you can really get consumed in it.
For sure.
Absolutely. And the whole thing with the work thing too. That's kind of one of those things where
Who do you want seeing in your
yeah, and I don't think that it's necessarily a fair judgment because people are very different from home versus professionally. How we are here is, even though we're open with each other and we talk to each other and we say
Different
things,
than we are.
we
at
would
home with our
probably
friends,
still, if you were with your friends, still not interact this way,
Yeah.
with
No,
each
that's
other.
very true.
So, I
Different
don't
type
think
of
it's
relationships is
yeah,
all it is.
right. So I don't think it's a
So-
fair judgment to have a
Oh,
work
absolutely.
person
It's the
being able
same
to look
thing.
at it.
You got your type of relationship that you portray on like Facebook or social media compared to who you really are.
Exactly.
So it's just
And that's another wonderful thing about social media is it gives you that opportunity to be,
an outlet, yeah.
to have an outlet. The only problem is they don't know how to keep it contained. They don't know how to
Control it.
filter and
I agree.
All right. Good discussion.
Is that it?
Yeah.